Hey everybody, welcome to week 6. Now we are nearly halfway through this course already, believe it or not. And so I hope that even if this is your first time taking an online course with HLC, you're starting to get comfortable with the rhythm of this course. Every week, the required readings, the videos, the discussion thread, and if you are starting to get comfortable, hold on to your hats because the next 2 weeks are going to be completely insane. So what are we doing for the next 2 weeks? Well, you are going to be carrying out a simulation of international climate change negotiations. This week you're going to be researching and preparing for it, and next week you're actually going to be doing it. And essentially what we're going to be doing is trying to answer what's really a simple question. Virtually every country around the world acknowledges, officially at least, the overwhelming scientific consensus that human-caused climate change is a real thing that's happening. Virtually every government around the world acknowledges that human-caused climate change is going to have very serious consequences for humanity. And virtually every country around the world acknowledges that significant collective action, starting now, or really starting like 10 years ago, is necessary to keep global climate change within an upper bound of about 2 Celsius degrees above pre-industrial levels. Virtually every government in the world agrees with those statements, at least officially. And yet, after decades, seriously, decades of climate change negotiations sponsored by the United Nations, we are not anywhere near an international agreement that gets us where everyone agrees we need to get. Why is that? Now, it's very tempting to just say, oh, the people who run the world are idiots or cynics, and some of them probably are. However, there's a difference between understanding something in the abstract and living through it. And for the next 2 weeks, you are going to live through it. So how do we begin? Well, this week and next week are going to be very, very different from our usual format. So I'm going to need you to keep an eye on email, check your email at least once a day. Keep an eye on our Haiku site, check in at least once a day, because things will move quickly, particularly next week, depending on you. And I can't always plan ahead for what the requirements are going to be. So I need you to keep in touch. For this week, for today, the first thing I want you to do is go to the Unit 2 page, scroll down here, and sign up for the country that you'll be portraying. It's first come, first serve. There are 8 choices. We're dividing up into 3 coalitions or 3 groups of nations: the developed, developing A, and developing B. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one. The developed countries are, no surprise, the wealthy, advanced, developed countries. And the 2 that you'll have a chance to play are the United States and the European Union. Gapminder doesn't have a choice for European Union, so I'm showing you Germany. But these are the countries with relatively high lifespans, high income per capita, technologically advanced. Second group, developing A. These are the middle income countries, fast growing, but still not particularly rich. The 3 choices you have to play are China, Brazil, and a little less advanced India, but fast growing. Your final group, developing B, are the poorest of the poor. Countries that are not developed, not growing particularly quickly, countries that are particularly vulnerable to climate change, but countries that have a particularly weak negotiating position. And the 3 that you have to choose from are Bangladesh, Nigeria, and the tiny island nation of Vanuatu. Next, go to the week 6 page, which is where you are right now watching this video. And I've outlined instructions day by day, and I will update these for later days in the week as we go. But for Monday, after you've signed up, I want you to start researching your country. I've given you some questions to answer, and also some suggested links where I want you to start researching. By Sunday, I'm going to ask you for a bibliography with 5 additional valuable sources. By Tuesday, tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to send me 4 visual slides, one for each question, that you can use to help answer these questions. And by Wednesday, you're going to introduce your country to your fellow students and answer those questions using your visual slides on a program called VoiceThread, which we will worry about soon. All the links and the explanations are actually already up on the Unit 2 page. We will also be making a lot of use of a site called CLearn, which is an online climate simulator. The links to CLearn and a tutorial about how to use it are already up on the Unit 2 page. So go ahead and get started on that, get started playing with it. Any questions, any problems, get in touch with me as always. And again, I'm going to be updating you very regularly for the next 2 weeks because a lot of what happens depends on the choices you make. So please stay in touch. If you're going to be off of email for any extended time over the next 2 weeks, let me know in advance. That's it. Let's get to it.